which social media platform is best for you. We are talking specifically about two platforms, Instagram and YouTube. We're going to be talking about some strategies that we use, why we might prefer one over the other, a little bit of struggles, but hopefully you guys can get a little bit of insight, a little bit of strategy and tips. I think we're going to have a lot to say about this topic. Do you think it's time to double down on Instagram or perhaps make a shift in our focus for social media strategy towards YouTube?
100% YouTube. Don't get me wrong, like Instagram is my strength, right? So I can post something and get 1,000 followers a day on Instagram. But the reason why I'm not doubling down on Instagram is we need to understand the context of how people use these platforms. People are on Instagram when they're at Starbucks waiting for their coffee. Their full attention is not there, they're just scrolling. Like that's the place where I just want to hit them really quick and just make them think like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Shift their thinking and then just either follow me or something like that, and then eventually get them to a longer form content. I guess the downside of YouTube, I guess, is making video is such like a huge barrier of entry, right? Like most people just can't do it. And even for myself, I'm not really an eloquent speaker. Like I say, and I'm like, and I delay stuff. I go around, I ramble, and my strength is writing. So I'm really, really much better in Instagram. But I still recognize that I need to get better at that. I need to get better at showing up on camera and, just make better videos. That's why I'm really doubling down on YouTube.
How about you, Nikki, in regards to the same question?
So I'm going to put my personal preference aside, and I'm going to always say that it goes based off what the person can do, right? So for me, if I was just starting out and I don't necessarily feel very comfortable going long form first, I'm going to say double down on Instagram. They are doing some changes. Some are good, some are bad. But we can't sit here and say that Instagram is leaving anytime soon. We could say that about TikTok. You feel what I'm saying? But we can't really say that about Instagram. So it just depends on what makes you comfortable, because I got comfortable with short form to then go into long form. I started long form with my podcast first. Then once I realized that, okay, I feel very comfortable with that, then I went to my personal channel, right? Though I do believe eventually everybody should have a YouTube channel from a standpoint of searchability and discoverability, from longevity standpoint. Like you can't find Instagram posts that are 3 years old, but you can find videos from YouTube that are 3 years old still popping up on your feed,
And
right?
making
Still
money.
popping up. Right, exactly. So what I used to say was you weren't able to find, if you Googled you weren't able to find Instagram posts, but that has changed. So that's what I'm saying. Instagram is making a bit of changes. So if you're still trying to find your footing and short form seems to be your way right now, I would say double down on Instagram with a vision of going to YouTube, right? Because even though YouTube has YouTube Shorts, the money isn't as cute as everybody wants to think about it, right? You're going to attract a lot of subscribers that may not convert into long form eventually. People have been having different results with that, right? What I'm realizing is that my shorts bring in people and my long form keeps them, right? But I have a two different audience. I have a younger crowd with shorts than I necessarily do with my long form, right? And so this is where you have to also pay attention to data. Now, if you are a talker, right? If you are a talker, go YouTube, double down on YouTube. Like not only from a standpoint of like loyal fans, like the community on YouTube is different than Instagram. I would almost say, and I love my Instagram people, they've been rocking with me, but the value on YouTube, that community that continues to come back and back and back and back, they're a little bit more worth than Instagram, especially when you're thinking about brand deals, right? Because they're ready, they're searching for your content. They know they're watching you for a reason, and they will probably convert, whether you're promoting something in the middle of it, which I suggest, and we can get into that another conversation. But whether you're promoting your newsletter, your own program, whether some other's brand, and you're just talking about it, Like that converts rather than you do it really quick on Instagram of, I got 5 different tips, da, 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 and they're like, cute, thank you, I save it. I'm going to save this for later, and I never watch it again because I never really go into my saves. Like, it's just a long answer to say, yeah, it just depends on who you are, what is your natural, but with the intent of everybody should have a YouTube channel eventually.
I like the way that you presented that, because you went with the person's skill set, pretty
Yeah.
much their preference, and that's really key, because if somebody's not a talker, it'd be very hard to tell them you should do Instagram over
Right.
YouTube, you know, and that makes perfect sense.
I really do agree with what Nikki said of, finding your strength and starting there and then expanding and allowing yourself to grow, while at the same time, push yourself to take that jump and get uncomfortable, right? Because all of our first pieces of content really suck on every platform. It just is the way it is. When you start creating content, it's super cringe when you go back and look at it, but it's always, you can't get better without showing up. So yes, I definitely agree with that, but I also think it's important for you to think about where your audience is and who your audience is and who you're trying to attract. Some people, they really aren't going to find that on Instagram, but they definitely will find it on YouTube or vice versa. And so that's where you have to kind of think about, should I really step out and push push my fear aside, really push through that to start on YouTube, or is Instagram where I really should be going and allowing myself to grow? So I do think there's a lot of things to take into consideration. If you currently are on Instagram and you are doing okay, you've got that down pack of having consistent content that you're producing, and you have a community that you're growing. Maybe it's not the biggest community ever, but you are actually having the consistent growth and consistent posting, then I think, yeah, it's definitely time for you to take a look at YouTube and see if you can bring that into your strategy. That doesn't mean you have to go all in on it. You can start slow, but I do think that if you already have Instagram down pat, bring something else in that's going to bring in a different community, the strength of that community, and your authority figure when you're on YouTube. That connection you have with your people and that authority is huge there.
I gotta say, I love Instagram as well. It's my primary channel, as Sun stated. I love the community here on Instagram. But in regards to my decision between doubling down on Instagram or making a shift to YouTube, I'm heavily in regards to making that shift to YouTube, and then doubling down once you make it to YouTube by, I mentioned to Sun, checking out community posts. Matter of fact, I'll even share one related to today's topic. I put out a post on YouTube. It was a community post, and I asked the audience, would you prefer 10,000 Instagram followers or 10,000 YouTube subscribers? I got over 200 votes, and of that audience, 13% said they would want more Instagram followers. 87% said 10,000 YouTube subscribers. I'm not surprised. A lot of the points that we've all just shared today in regards to converting better, making more money, you're creating a much more deeper relationship on YouTube. You can't deny that, and it's so much stronger on YouTube. So that's why I say I would focus more on YouTube. Find your balance if you can. If you started on Instagram, I'm not saying ignore it. Continue going with Instagram, but start easing your way into YouTube. And there's smart ways you could do that, whether you take reels and repurpose them as shorts. I keep telling people, do the same thing that I'm doing right now. Go on IG Live. Take the live afterwards, edit it, put it on YouTube. It's so easy to do. I think there's so many easy ways to jump into YouTube, whether you're brand new or you're already there and you're not as consistent as you normally are or you want to be. There's so many easy ways to get started. I would say normally jump in with shorts, take your reels, repurpose it, and then start maybe moving in with community posts, and then even the long game with their VODs, or as they consider it, video on demand. I just want to ask a quick question for those that are watching. If you currently have a YouTube channel, just let us know by putting a quick thumbs up in the comments. I want to get an idea of how many people are watching actually currently have a YouTube channel, because I definitely agree with what Nikki is stating. Whether the YouTube is your first choice or second or even fourth or fifth, I definitely agree that at some point you should strongly consider having a YouTube channel. I think it's really, really more vital than most other social media platforms right now.